All right, welcome back to another episode of Knicks Morning Koffee. All right, my name is Mr. King. It's my partner Joe Cool. And actually, I don't even remember what episode this is. 70. All right, so we still like for y'all to like, comment, subscribe. Our subscriptions have been stalled past couple of weeks. Please help us out with that. Also, I have a new show, Nick Thoughts. You can find it on YouTube at Mr. King KMK. That's just a short version of Knicks Morning Koffee. It's a daily show, so please check that out.
Find that in the description below.
All right, so what? I gotta say this though. Last night, okay, everybody know Knicks and the Milwaukee Bucks last night after our 2-game skid. Now we won that game, but I have to just pat myself on the back just a little bit because in the Nick Thoughts show yesterday, I mentioned how I thought Randle and RJ need to play good at the same time, and I don't know if that was fully answered in this game, but not just one playing good one half and the other one playing good the other half to get their numbers, and then and two, how we have been playing down to the competition, and particularly with teams who have their stars out or star players out. Now, they were without Lopez and Middleton, but still the way we've been playing lately, it didn't matter who was on the court for the other team. We were just blowing leads, or in one sense, the wire-to-wire win that somebody just put on us. So I thought things like that had to happen, and I also felt that I would not be shocked had we won last night because of the status of Milwaukee. We're going to rise to the occasion of the good teams. So
somebody mentioned that last night on Legion Nick podcast. I tuned in.
Shout out to Legion Knicks podcast.
And I tuned in, and somebody had posted that. And he said he wasn't sure, but we've been saying that, for the past couple of weeks, that it seems like when there's no competition, it's like they let up.
Yeah.
Or if they're blowing the team out, it's like they let up.
Yeah.
Like, why y'all not keeping them, pedal to the metal? If they're not letting up on you, you just playing that good. I don't think they realize how good they playing. They need to go watch the tape and say, oh, damn, we really that good.
Well, yeah, but also it comes, that and then I think the shooting, when you're hitting threes at a clip, the way we are, you turn to get laid back and relaxed.
Yeah.
So you don't have that hunger, and I think one of the things, and we're gonna talk about RJ in a few minutes. One of the things about RJ's game, how it got back to the rookie years, that he started going back to the basket. He started attacking the basket again. I'm a driver first. I'm going left. They know I'm going left, but right now they can't stop it again.
Yeah, but what's helping him though is that new rule. Like, you just can't flop your way to the basket either. You got to try to score.
Yeah.
So
he did that. He did he didn't do that.
Remember, he wasn't even really getting the call. So it was discouraging, and then he got quickly doing that floater. So it was like they all adopted the floater after a while. Like, they're not going to the basket to score. They're going to the basket to get fat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Quickly, Harden, a couple other people, Trey Young, that would just go to the basket. They were not really trying to score, or they trying to catch the foul. But now that the NBA is saying, no, you got to go to the basket trying to score.
Yeah, they gave the
now
game
his
back.
game is elevated again.
And it's good because they gave the game back to the players. But also with RJ, I think that driving to the basket, it just opened up his J. Now it's because it's just not about now if he can hit it. Now he's taking a comfortable shot. And then I watched last night, in rotation how the ball was coming around, just the way he was anticipating it coming to him, when it's swinging. And the way he stepped into it, I almost got to take back everything I was saying about RJ.
His shooting. Who saw that coming? Usually somebody, when they get a jump shot, they get hurt. Or it takes some years. Antetokounmpo, he still don't really got a shot, but it's better than what it was. Ben Simmons, struggles with the shot once out. I can't think of nobody else right now, but that's the two that come to mind. But you're not really thinking of RJ's gonna just end up with a shot the next year.
But people do. I mean, when they go back and they look at the Michael Jordans and people like that, they didn't shoot like that coming out.
But it was more.
They worked on their craft.
It was more mid-range, pull up off the dribble.
Well, it wasn't deep. It wasn't. But even period. We'll take that though. We're not saying he got to solely turn into a 3-point shooter. You don't even want that. You want him to play his game the way a Bull plays their game, and then the shooting got to be added, and then it's the added pressure of the guys on the bench. It's also the added pressure. Now, let me ask you this, because this is something I don't know if I truly believe this, but I'm just going to throw two things at you, then we're going to talk about it. So the thing I was thinking about with yesterday was, can Julius and RJ play good at the same time? And then even if they do, does that really matter? Right? Like, does it really matter that they both play good at the same time? Is it essential to us winning?
Yeah.
Because we got so many other people around us.
Yeah, because when you see them feeding off each other, that 1-2 punch almost seems like a new duo about to start.
And then you got the other shooters on the outside. You got the other shooters,
so
yeah.
Shout out to Legion again. He mentioned that when I was at the end of the stream. When it's Randle and Fournier doing that, you know what I mean? Like, it's cool. But it will feel so much better when it's Randle and RJ doing that. Because when they do it, you see the success. You see RJ hitting the shots. You see that pick and roll work out better. You see that movement work out better. For some reason, why? When they're on the same page, the whole team is on the same page.
Because they're going, because they're going to the basket, and I didn't really hear that, but I give you another twist why that would seem better. Is because when RJ and Randle doing the pick and roll or playing the two-man game, now look at the bailout. The bailout is two shooters, right. Kemba and Fournier on the wings. So that puts us back into the realm with the tightness with the other teams. Yeah. When we can, because before we didn't have no bailout. If Randle and RJ wasn't doing it, you was gonna hope that Burke was just gonna go on and almost play a Superman role. So that makes a lot of sense for them to say that. Definitely. Okay, now the other one was has RJ's taken a step, a step past Randle the past few games. So could it even be an argument in the near future that they will swap with RJ be Batman and Randle be Robin?
Not necessarily. I think that's coming down to them. I can't find a word right now, but that's RJ's mentality. RJ don't give up. You know what I mean? We said that from his rookie year. Randle, my always issue with Randle is he's not showing no emotion. He's not like the emotion of the game. Like, he's not taking it to them. He's not doing anything. He's just doing a turnaround jump shot, or he just stalling. Like with Melo, holding the ball. So I don't see them swapping. But I definitely do see RJ elevating his game.
Well, and Randle redeemed himself. He redeemed himself last night because one of the things that, because of the slow start, and I had to go back to and look at it again when I got home, because I was out with a friend of mine last night, and then that was a Knicks fan, and we was just chopping it up. But when we got in, it was in the second quarter, and then the way we was getting ran over, we was just like, damn. But I said they're gonna get back because Milwaukee is a good team. They're gonna fight their way back in it because that's what we do against good teams. But Randle, because in the papers leading up to that, there was something in there about Randle was how he felt motivated because Milwaukee had won the championship. And he felt motivated about what the Knicks could do this year. But then the game, actually, when I went back to look at it, it's the first few minutes of the game started out pretty even, back and forth. And then somehow it fell apart. And that's the part we have to fix.
Yeah, I like that clip when he said that, but then he has to really sit down and take that into context how we do. Because Milwaukee don't let up. They don't play down to the competition, and they don't take their foot off the gas. Right? They power all over you and they won't stop. That's what they was looking like they was gonna try to do to us tonight. But we played our game and we got it done, right? But that's the mentality they gotta keep. If that's what you want to say, then really believe your words and say, well, they didn't stop to the competition. They just kept playing hard. And they every night, everybody on that bench stepped up and did what they were supposed to do. They didn't have 1,000.
Well, that mentality though of not stopping also got to go with recognizing when a change in the game need to be made, because you don't want to always try to catch a good team to have to play uphill all the time to catch them. You want to be able to stay with them until you can pull away. And Milwaukee, they kept coming at you. Now, good, they were without two essential players, and Brook Lopez claws the middle. So that definitely made it easier for us. But nonetheless, they still the champs, and we beat them. And then you take away Middleton's what he was able to offer. But to the Knicks' credit, when Giannis was running amok, they did what teams did a few years ago. How you stop Giannis is that they closed that wall. So now he can't get that long step. When he can get that, and they say Euro, it ain't really no Euro step. It's just a long step across your leg, the way he does it. But when he can't do that, he's not the same player. And I'll settle for him shooting, at any given time. I'd rather him shoot the ball than constantly going downhill. And because, again, we talked about this 2 weeks ago, he's not at the point yet where he's ready to keep finding other people when he's going downhill. When he go downhill, he going to the basket. So you can start finding ways to defend that. And then we start doing that, even though he still was killing, he didn't get to take over the game.
I mean, listen, Giannis is one of my favorites of current time.
Yeah.
So I hate when I have to say it like this, but he one sprained ankle or injury away from figuring it out. It's always, I don't know. Growing up, I feel like once you can't do something,
you get hurt,
then you start relying on your teammates. When you start thinking of, all right, I'm Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas. Once you start getting that, then you got to start, all right, let me get my team involved so I can be better. Because then you just can't do anything. I mean, let's spread the floor so I can work. Until he figures that out, then he's going to be unstoppable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If he could just take a little bit of LeBron James and say, you know what, let me do this. Because I know I could dominate. I know I could be Shaq down there.
Yeah, it takes a lot to pass it when you know you can make it in that situation. When you're going full steam ahead. Yeah, and that's going to take a growth spurt in his mind for him, mentally, to get to that. But it's just that for some reason I thought we could get that game. Now, nobody's a psychic, but it's just something about the way we are as a team. We kind of stay more locked in.
Yeah, I didn't know we was going to start off like that, though.
They actually started out good. They started out good, then it turned.
Yeah, Milwaukee was just on a...
Yeah, we was going 3 for 3 with them.
I couldn't take it last night. I was like, you know what? I had to walk away, play some Call of Duty, come back, lay down. We were still kind of down. Then all of a sudden we caught up. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, because when I was out,
so I ain't even see the play-by-play. What got us in there? I was like,
that's the part. That's the part I had to go back and watch because while I was out with a friend of mine and we sitting there talking and we looking at the score and my last words was, well, they're gonna get back, and then all of a sudden we were down 10. We were only down 10. Yeah. And it was like, okay, now we got to lock in because,
we were down 10. We closed that gap in like a minute.
Well, we did, yeah.
So I was like, damn.
This is one of the things I said on the Nick Thought show the other day is that it's the turning point when we're down 3 or 4 and the turning point of when the coach and the star player has to decide, or if the coach or the floor general, they got to decide, we need a bucket right here, right now. Like, we got to keep this momentum going to tie or get over the hump. And then we wasn't doing that the other night. And then last night, it was getting to that same thing. We kept getting to 3, 4, and I said to myself, why the ball won't end up in Fournier's hand? And lo and behold, in the corner, it ends up in Fournier's hand, and it swung to him, and he missed a wide open. And and it's like, that can't happen. Like, this is why you here.
Yeah, like
you here. Even while we trying to figure it out, there's certain things each player still should be able to do. You're a shooter. So in that situation, boom, you got to knock that down. Now, the tie came on a Quigley steal. And then the go-ahead basket came on an RJ drive to the bucket. So that's also nice to see that we're not living and dying by the 3. And then our 3 started ringing again, like on time.
That worried me, but it didn't worry me because, like I said, I feel like our strength is going to be, if the starters can't do it, the bench is going to do it, which they did, right? But Kemba and Fournier not having no points, I think until like the second quarter or third quarter. No points.
Yeah, that didn't bother me last night.
It didn't bother me, but it was like, I feel like in order for us to be successful, you got to do something. Yeah, you got to keep them honest because you don't want our bench just doing everything. So like I said, D Rose, same thing we said last year. It's like, we know he's still a starter in heart. Like, we know that's what he do. He's not going to let up. He's going to play hard every night. I remember, I told you, I said he's happy, he's comfortable here. This is where, if he has to stay here for the rest of his career, I think he's fine with that. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
with Kemba,
as long as West and them are there,
Yeah, but I know what Kemba Walker is, this is your time to prove the NBA or people wrong, right? You don't want to get Kyrie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't want to just be a good handler and you can't hit a shot. No, Do what you've been doing the last couple of nights. Be that cardiac Kemba that you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Take some notes from Chris Paul or something. You know what I mean?
Well, he said that he needs to do a better job of leading the team. But what I took from last night, well, even though I wanted to see more out of Fournier, because the way Rose had it going, if one of them got it going, I'm cool. Because when Rose take it to another level, or Walker, then I'm cool with the other one having subpar game. But the good thing about it, one, you could tell they was taking the ball. They were gonna try to take the ball out of Fournier's hand. They wasn't gonna allow him to beat them, even though he still was getting his J's off. But defense is gonna do that because not everybody really trusts RJ yet. So you're gonna get those looks, and the past 4 or 5 games, he's been producing with those looks. But the other part to that too is you don't want to see, and I'm skipping now, you don't want to see RJ when he was rolling in those 2 losses and then the other barely win. You don't want to see RJ become this high power scorer on a bad team. You want to see him get those kind of points when we win it. And winning because we need that from him. Not just a guy, that can get 30 but team losing. So that's a fine line too with the Knicks, they have to be walked. But again, last night put us right back now. It should lift everybody's spirits back up because we still got some of these East teams that we got to play. And it's just put us back in the right light, in the right headspace, just to keep moving forward and staying with the pack. Also got to shout out my boy Franklin. I don't know if you remember, I used to work with him years ago, and he ran up on me on the sidewalk the other day and told me he's a long time watcher of the show. So I was like, okay, that's cool. Nice. But leave a comment, Franklin.
Put it in the comments. Let's talk about, let's have conversations.
Yeah, because this is the time, because this is what we asked for, and we needed this win, and nobody would have fought us if we lost.
Yeah.
But we needed this win to show that even though Philly was shorthanded, that was their team. They're still a contender, and we beat them. And then Milwaukee shorthanded, but they're the champs, and we beat them. And that just, to me, that's just better. I'd rather go ahead and lose to a team that doesn't matter, and then turn around and beat the contenders, because that's what keeps you in the conversation.
But with the Pacers game, and not only because my best friend's a Pacers fan, but with the Pacers game,
Oral.
You know what I mean? It was the adjustments from the players and the coach. And I ran into somebody on the block that watched the show. You know what I mean? Shout out to y'all. I don't remember your name, but he was telling me how, like, what he thought. You know what I mean? And I was like, damn, I didn't even look at it from that point of view of what he saw. You know what I'm saying? So I just had to say that, put your thoughts in the comments, because we all see different stuff.
What was it? Tell everybody what it was.
So it was the adjustments that coach didn't do. We went small. You know what I mean? We should have went bigger. Mitchell Robinson don't like being out there by the 3-point line. There was a couple of points that he said, and I really didn't notice that. He said he'll go flash to the 3-point line, but he wants to drop back because he wants to help. Yeah. You know what I mean? There was a couple other things that he said, but that he blamed coach. He said, you should have made that adjustment. You should have stayed big. You should have kept Mitchell. When Mitchell come out, throw Nerlens back in there. When Nerlens come out, though, and I was like, yeah, you're probably right. But my only concern was the Pacers played their game. They didn't change up nothing. Even if they was missing somebody, they played their game, and that's why they beat us. Yeah. That's what made me nervous. Our game should have been better than theirs. Yeah, they was hungry. There's nobody fighting for a spot. Everybody's playing a role.
And we called that. We called that loss coming out of the Toronto game. We didn't have that. We didn't have that eye of the tiger. And what I said, the Pacers are going to get us. They're going to get us tomorrow.
Yeah, and the big man, they said, was running across the 3. He said, nobody. He said the coach did not make the adjustments. Yeah, because I'm not going to blame coach, because as a player, I feel like when you're on the court, you seeing it right there in real time.
Well, a center's never going to go out. Though a center's never going to go out there to play. So if you're going to go small, the reason why you go small is because they'll extend. They'll go out and guard that big man. And Turner's never going to do nothing for you on the inside. Everything other than blocking shots on defense, everything with him is going to be out on the perimeter. Yeah. So even if you got Obi or Randle out there, Randle don't even help the helper.
Yeah, then that's what I thought. I said Randle's defense was like, he thought he was Melo. And I love Melo, but not for his help defense. That's the problem. It should help defense. Help somebody. Yeah. Like, put a body on somebody. Like, how did we forget that from high school? Somebody run through the lane, you put a body on them, and then you let them through. Yeah. It's like, we don't do that. You know what I mean? I don't know if other teams do that. I don't know if the NBA don't do that, but I'm watching the Knicks. Randle don't put a body.
Well, yeah,
put a body on somebody because they just running past you.
Yeah, it's that part is Randle. The other part is Taj rotates, but because of the way the switch is, the other guy rotating is so tall, and Taj is not a leaper. See, if Randle rotates and goes for the ball, he has a better chance, even though Taj is way better defender. But Randle do have hops. So when he rotates, he's rotating stop. That's the Melo effect. He don't rotate when he see the play coming to cut the man off. But if Randle challenged the ball, because he can jump so high, he would be a better defender in that sense. But every time Taj rotates, the guy just goes over the top. Then it's almost like,
my thing is just no excuse. With the state D Rose is in, he's playing great, he's healthy. He shouldn't be the only small player to get block shots, stay on his man.
But he also understands Tibbs' system.
I'm talking about, but the stuff that stuff you can't teach nobody. You gotta know how to block a shot.
Vet. That's a vet.
Yeah, that's a vet. So my thing is, if anything, steal that from him.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, that little stuff.
Well, quickly, IQ, because when he got that key steal, even though we were up, well, that's the one that put us up. He been semi slumping. They saying he was slumping, but it's just things that he has to elevate his game now to. We saw the stuff in what you see a lot after people work out in the summer. You start seeing their new moves, and then as the game goes on, as the season go on, then people tend to revert back to what they already know, and that's kind of what IQ was doing.
Well, he came back stronger. It looks like his shot a little bit better. Remember, his shot form was driving me crazy.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't need to do that stuff he was doing last year. Remember, we got Fournier,
Well, you can't. Well, the flop you can't do.
Yeah, you can't do the flop, but he was hitting those, the Trae Young, James Harden, that whole Steph Curry, behind the pick and roll, just pull it.
Yeah.
He was hitting those, but we don't need you to do that right now because RJ's hitting his shots. Fournier's hitting his shots.
Well, we actually needed him last
Rose
night.
hitting his shots.
Well, see, Rose, this is another thing with Rose. Rose is actually doing what we said he was going to do. Rose is going to be a steady player, and he's going to know what games he got to take over. And he sensed that early, and I think some of that could be contributed to all those years in Chicago and in the Midwest teams. Milwaukee's one of y'all division rivals, so you're very familiar with that court. And I just think that helped, but what RJ did and what Randle did last night can't go unnoticed. It really was just a three-headed monster. But the fact that they were running Fournier and some of them guys off the three-point line and they were finding the right play, meaning that even though they didn't score big, they still was contributing to because that's what you have to do. You have to trust. And that trust that they gave RJ last night, and I think the other team was going to allow RJ to be somebody that, handle the ball a lot. He produced. But just the fact that, Evan and Kemba and even Rose, how they starting to trust RJ even more. Yeah. And RJ is delivering.
Yeah, I'm just.
But there's no shade to the way our box score looked. That's the most lump-sided box score I think I've seen even when we were bad. I haven't seen a box score like that. Like one had 20, one had 32, the other one had 25. Everybody else is like 7 and 7-0, 7-2.
But then I say that I said the best part about our team is if somebody don't give us 30 in the starting lineup, we got a whole nother starting lineup of 5 players that probably can give you 30.
Yeah,
remember, with Obi, here's the thing. The good thing about our team is that they can do it. The bad thing is I don't know when the other person is going to get a chance. So if Obi can give you 30, and he can be that superstar that he looked like he will be later, we don't know when he's going to get that chance.
Yeah.
Quickly. If he can be...
Yeah, because he's losing minutes.
Yeah.
By the day.
Yeah, if he can get a 30-point game, we ain't going to be able to see it until maybe somebody get hurt. And then we all want Grimes to come in. But if the Knicks still playing good with what they're doing, but you may never see him come in.
Yeah, they got time. Yeah, they'll get spot minutes here, but they got time. Because one thing I did also say on the other show is Grimes, their time is coming. Because remember, my thing before was going to take somebody. This is why I said it's going to take somebody to get hurt and somebody to get foul trouble. Because somebody just hurt, Tibbs is just going to give those other minutes to other players that already played in rotation. So Derek's minutes will go up, or Fournier's minutes will go up. He'll do that before he turn it all over to the young guys.
Yeah, but I came to the conclusion that McBride, he might be a player that if he's going to be a star, he's going to be on a different team. I feel like he might get in a trade. Somebody might want him and need him right then. He's not going to
trade that boy.
I'm talking about he's not going to get. Because D-Rose look like he's staying healthy. He look like he's doing grown people.
Yeah,
stuff.
But they get nagging injuries.
But D-Rose don't want to stop playing. He want to Tom Brady. That's what he said, right?
Yeah.
He want to keep playing. So he's good. Kemba, if it depends on how well he does, that's going to be a debate. We know what Kemba does. We love him in New York. It looks like a good fit. But if another point guard, you don't know what's going to happen. So me saying that is, McBride might not get a shot on the Knicks. They might have him. He might not be here.
He'll be here. He better be here, because one thing is that, again, Kemba and Rose, through the course of a long season, and history tells you the same thing, they get nagging injuries where they don't play for a few weeks at a time. It's going to happen this year. It's definitely going to happen for Kemba. It'll probably happen for Kemba before it happens for Rose, because Kemba's not fully healthy yet. And then that's when McBride's time will come. And if it don't come this year, that's fine. But we know enough. We know enough that through the dog days of the season, this is some fresh legs. We always talk about Grimes, but in terms of McBride, that's some fresh legs you can have up there at the point to defend in the end, push the ball on offense, and then knock down the three with confidence. He'll be all of those when he get his time. And then after he do it, then you got to go back. You might get 3 or 4 games where it's all about you, and then you got to go sit back down. Because this is what we got. This is why they have all these developmental leagues and all these draft picks that we had. And you just can't give them away. Yeah, if you got to sit on that bench 2 years, knowing what we got, as a young guy, you sit on that bench 2 years, you know your value.
I'm not going to lie. Kemba did get hurt. To keep the same rotation, I would rather just throw McBride and see what he do.
And Tibbs will try that.
But I think
that's how Quigley got in there last year.
Yeah, but
took 2 people to get hurt for him and Burke to get in that rotation.
We needed him.
Yeah, we needed fresh young legs.
Quickly end up starting, and then Burke slid down. So I can see him Tibbs just doing that again. But what I would do, just to switch it up, which we all said, is just to put McBride. If Kemba did get hurt, put McBride there and just see what happens.
Well, the second unit, if the second unit is rolling, he probably would try something.
I think they're rolling. I think every time they come in there, I feel good.
Yeah, we got to get something. We got to, and we ain't worrying about the second unit, but we got to get something else out of him.
You think so? Because Noel and D-Rose, they doing what they supposed to do.
Yeah, come here. A little bit more consistency on the. Because we got to stay with how we started the season with them guys getting 8 to 10 points. We have to. We just can't rely on 1 and 2 guys.
Obi's
in
not going to get that 30
we just give us 10.
No, he only going to get 10 because he's doing all this stuff that nobody else want to do.
Right, give us 10 impact points, get some of them dunks, block shots, run the floor. Because running the floor, even if you don't get it, it drags the defense back. That's what running the floor does for you. And we talked about that the other day with in the Indiana game, how we're running the floor, but everybody's stopping at the line. Yeah. And we still can't get a good shot off because nobody's dragging the defense.
Yeah, everybody Timo Cruz on the now.
One thing I talked to somebody, everybody's. I talked to somebody the other day, and they was blaming the 2 losses on Randle. No. And I said no, because even though Randle wasn't having the points, see, we know Randle can go off and get points. But we can't be mad when he don't get them, especially if he's not taking a lot of shots. Now, if he's bricking it up, okay. But if he's missing good shots or finding the open people, then we can't be mad at the low scoring. And those 2 losses, I always say it was 3 games. We won 1. The 2 losses and the near loss, Randall scoring wasn't a result of the losses. Because Randall still was playing ball. Like, even not scoring, be a part of the mix. And that's what Randall was. He was still being a decoy for us to be able to feed off and throw it out to the other people. So we couldn't pin those, and I would have been the first one too if it was necessary. We can't pin those losses on Randall because he still was keeping everybody involved. He was staying involved. He wasn't just like maybe off and low scoring and he ain't out there doing nothing.
Yeah, Randle's playing his role awesome. You know what I mean? He is an all-star, so I give him that.
And he's
now.
a decoy. He plays as a decoy.
So I think everybody's issue is right now is he's not an Antetokounmpo that's gonna run down the court 500 miles per hour. He's not a LeBron James that's gonna make everybody better, floor general. He's like that's just not Randle yet. We don't know what his niche is gonna be. He's still young. You know what I mean? He didn't have to take over a team.
Yeah.
So we don't really know what that thing is. Like Clyde would say, well, the Joker could be playing, or that's what he do. Like,
yeah.
We played, you got to stop him in the lane. This is what he do. There's nothing you could say that Randle's like, this is what he do. We don't know. He kind of play like Melo. Like, he holds the ball, he get in the post, he's going to do that spin move, mid-range J. He's not doing nothing else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's hitting
that's his game.
He's getting everybody involved. He's a great player. He's just not doing nothing that's like, damn, I can't stop this. Well, that's just not Randle. You know what I mean? So,
but this leads to my important stat of the night. Because we only had 3 guys basically doing the scoring, but we had other guys that was all still involved. Even Nerlens, people were still involved. Mitch, and both of them had nice inside move. Nerlens did a nice inside move when they threw the ball down to him last night. Shows that he's capable. But after the first quarter, we outscored Milwaukee. All 3 quarters convincingly after the first quarter. It didn't look like that in the second, but even in the second quarter, we outscored them like at a good margin in those last 3 quarters. So we have to build on that. Now we 6-3, and we're gonna lose some games because, like I said, everybody got better. We don't want to, shout out to Khalif, something soulful, saying that we didn't have a chance yesterday. But this was a good win for us. This was a good barometer win. Actually, this takes the sting off because you beat Philly, Milwaukee. This kind of takes the sting off when you got to play the Nets. Now I say that now, but depending on how things come when we get to the Nets.
Yeah, this
does take the sting off that we can beat a good team.
Because all the good teams is losing to the team they shouldn't have lost to anyway.
Well, Milwaukee is only 4-4 themselves.
We falling right in line with everybody else. You kind of want to be better than everybody else. But it seems like all the teams that you would think wouldn't win are winning. Yeah, because it's almost like that bet 305. It's almost like everybody betting the opposite way. Yeah, and the other team is winning. So who would have thought? I mean, they voting against us anyway. I don't even think they had the Knicks beating the Pacers. The Pacers actually look really good, so they can talk as much as we can too. But when we on our swag, we gonna be tough to beat. Yeah, and we didn't have that. We didn't have that in our eyes. But they got to find a way to keep that. That should not even be a problem. Yeah. All right, so we're not going to hold y'all. Today was all about Milwaukee, all about that great win we had last night. Please share the video, tell a friend. Really want to get our numbers out, and subscribe. Peace.